Hey guys, Kelly Weber with the Weber Group here with, I'm kicking off Law Week. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I am kicking off Law Week and I'm really excited about it. I am going to be hosting a 5-part series on the COVID-19 crisis and how it's affecting everyone in our community from a legal perspective. I am excited because I am joined here today by Corey Morano from the Morano Law Firm. Corey has been an attorney for the past 14 years, lives in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, grew up in Paramus, and has his business in Paramus for the last 8 years. Corey specializes in civil and criminal matters all throughout northern New Jersey. So Corey, thank you so much and welcome. I'm excited you're here.
So much, Kelly. I'm excited as well. A pleasure to be here and be talking to you.
So, COVID has affected everyone, and I'm excited for this series because it'll give people the perspective to see what different types of law and how it's affecting every area. So I'm sure, just like everyone else, the court system has been affected. What can you tell me about that?
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, the court system, just like everything else, has been affected. I mean, since the beginning of the pandemic, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of New Jersey signed 2 major omnibus orders, and then there's been multiple small changes or updates that have been made to accommodate this ever-changing thing, right? Because every day you turn on the news, something is different, and just like everything else, it's changing, correct? And I should start off by saying that when you have any sort of legal matter, you need to talk to an attorney, any attorney, and that you shouldn't take what I'm saying as advice, because this could change at any time. And just with any legal matter before, it's just as much, if not more important, to talk to an attorney now. You can get right up to the date as to what's going on. Just like your town, your state, your county, whatever it is implementing different protocols to handle the crisis, depending on the type of case and each individual case and what court it's in will be handled potentially differently. Also, the court system and the laws are trying to adjust, and so these new guidelines are coming every day. I get an email from the Bar Association constantly, from the different, whether Bergen County Bar Association, New Jersey State Bar Association, whatever it may be. Everything has been changing all the time.
So are they open?
Well, to take it back, right, as of March 18th, there were going to be no more in-person Superior Court or tax court proceedings, except in extremely limited circumstances. You know, this is like emergent matters, things that cannot wait, people's immediate freedoms at stake. Otherwise, and then certain ongoing trials are going on, but as many matters as possible have been automatically switched to some sort of telephone or video conference. These are case management conferences, motions, hearings, things where you don't necessarily need to be there in person. They're starting to put forth what they need to get back open. Like in Bergen County, I know that there was a notice that they were starting thermal scanning for taking temperatures and other measures that they're taking. There's even a notice that I've seen that they're going to be putting up in the courtroom doors as soon as you walk in. And so the functions of the court are open, okay? If you have a case going on, you'll want to talk to a lawyer or at the very least contact the court if you don't have a lawyer. That said, Bergen County Superior Court and most courts are closed to the public, so you cannot physically go there until further notice.
It's crazy, you know, all these restrictions or all these new things that they're putting in place now. Just like after 9/11, it's a new normal now. You know, it just seems to be the way. So courts are adjusting to virtual and phone appearances. But what if somebody wants their day in court and they don't want to do it virtually or by the phone?
So we already spoke about things where it's immediate. You've got to be in court right now, like a child custody case. You know, someone, Josh Cohen will be talking later in the week about family stuff. But right now, some matters can be done remotely using video or phone options, but only with the consent of all parties. Sentencing hearings in criminal, family, municipal court, juvenile delinquency matters, evidentiary hearings such as bench trials in criminal matters, hearings and trials in the municipal court that involve a reasonable likelihood of jail, termination of parental rights, hearings for declaring someone the incapacity of someone and appointing a guardian. In the absence of the consent of all parties in these types of matters, the judges will adjourn these matters and reschedule them for a date in the future where personal appearances will be reasonable. So the short answer is that if the stakes are high and it's not an emergency to be done right now, everyone needs to consent to a virtual format. So I got clients facing jail time, and we're weighing what to do in those by a case-by-case basis. I have other cases in which it makes more sense, whether there's money involved or whatever else, to get the ball rolling. And there's other matters that can proceed with or without consent. They'll use whatever the appropriate amount of video or phone that is available, and they'll be taking into effect, certain resources. Not everybody has a computer, right?
Right.
And so, you can't say like, oh, well, you must have a computer just because you have court, right? But most people have phones and arrangements can be made. So you're not going to get out of that traffic ticket that you had in January just because of this, right? There are going to be ways that you can work out pleas through a mail format or by just contacting the court. You may not actually even need a virtual format. And starting May 11th, the local town courts are going to start opening up to these virtual appearances. Judges in routine types of hearings and arguments and conferences, to the greatest of their abilities, are going to try to move the thing forward. Because if they just start pushing everything out, you always hear that the court system is jammed up. If they push things out 6 months, it's going to be a mess later on.
Make it worse.
Right, exactly. And then there's the courts that also operate outside the main system. So I'm mostly talking, about your local town court up to the Superior Court in Bergen County. It would be Bergen County Superior Court in Hackensack, and every county has one of those. But then there's other courts that operate out of that main system, like the Workers' Compensation Court that operates the Department of Labor. I just appeared this morning. I had a case in Workers' Compensation Court. It was for a settlement on a case, and it appeared virtually, and it was only over the phone. Then there's tax court, administrative court, bankruptcy, and there's plenty of other types of cases and courts that are up there. And then some of the other lawyers you're going to talk to this week are probably going to get into the more specifics in their practice areas about their particular type of courts and what they're doing to change things now.
Gotcha. But again, what about the situations where it's really difficult or impossible to go virtual? How can you have a jury?
That's an excellent question, right? So there's two types of main juries that people have heard of. You have the basic jury that you see on TV, right? The people sitting in the box, right? In a civil or criminal trial. Those types of trials are not going to start new ones until further notice. That's just getting pushed off. Too important, too much at stake, and too hard to set that up. Then there's grand jury, right? Grand jury is a type of jury that meets to hold down indictments. Those are going to be pushed off until May 31st. Then they'll try to look into seeing if there's some sort of virtual way of doing that.
Wow. I mean, so many hands in the pot and so many moving pieces to that. Well, what about other matters? How are people handling matters outside of the court?
There's depositions and other types of discovery matters in civil court. Depositions, I've got one coming up in a couple of weeks that they're saying should be handled virtually until the end of May, right? But basically, anything after the middle of March, and you've got more time to file stuff. Like there's statute of limitations on things.
They've extended
that off. Right, exactly. Okay. And in a lot of situations, it's a good thing because, I'm seeing that so the system doesn't get clogged up. And in some situations, I'm actually able to get better deals, whether it's in criminal matters or in civil matters. That's not every case, of course.
Right.
But some of them, they just, people are being responsible, don't want to clog up the system later. So we want to get the ball rolling to, settle and resolve matters now.
So how are things handled with people who want to represent themselves or have smaller cases that they don't want to hire, or they wouldn't typically hire a lawyer?
Right. So perfect example of that would be like landlord-tenant court, right? Where someone doesn't pay their rent. If they owe $1,000 in rent, they're probably not going to hire a lawyer. And same thing for like smaller cases, right? It's all called special civil. But those trials, right, because those types of things happen kind of quickly, whether it's small claims or landlord-tenant, those are going to be suspended through May 30th. And then, they'll come up with an alternative means of trying to resolve those types of things. But if you're dealing with things like in a family matter, a real estate matter, special education, employment, you got to talk to an attorney right now.
Gosh, I mean, there's so much information, and again, with shutting down things, you don't realize how many things need to, basically shift and move. What other things should we be looking out for during this time?
Well, a good one is that people are used to, the courts for the most part are public and you can physically go there. Whether it's you just feel like walking into Superior Court one day and sitting down and seeing a court hearing, or like, sometimes you've had maybe students go to like a municipal court case and hear something about that. So there's limited resources for that sort of thing. But there is a live stream available. You can go to New Jersey njcourts.gov and look up the virtual courtroom for your county. And so that's like for the general public. Now, if you're an interested person or if you're in the media, you can make special requests that they will try to allow
Accommodate.
You to do things. Right, exactly. But like I said, there's limited resources. Like they're short-staffed here. So they'll put a judge, from what I've seen so far. Once again, I can't talk for, there's over 500 courts in New Jersey.
And things change on a daily basis.
Exactly. And they're all going to have, different courts did things different ways to begin with. Just could fold out even more. But the point I guess I was getting at is that, a judge who is used to having access to their own courtroom and staff, 5 days a week for 8 hours a day, may have to deal with 1 day a week and only a few hours. So they've got to adjust to that sort of thing. Now, there's some other things you should be looking out for is that municipal court is going to resume, like I said.
Into May.
Law, if you graduated from law school, they had a lot, they're trying to figure out, because the law students can't sit for a
Graduation.
Right, they can't sit for the bar exam. Right? The bar exam, and they couldn't just redo how they do the bar exam. That's offered like twice a year. And so they're going to let law graduates practice to some degree, so you don't have those people losing jobs. And then another just kind of tangential thing to talk about is that getting just papers notarized, right? Lawyers got to get things notarized. So there are certain where you need a notary. They've just implemented a new law in New Jersey and plenty of other states that allow for an electronic notary.
That's great, because we use that all the time.
Right, exactly. I mean, when it comes to the real estate stuff, you're going to talk to a real estate attorney, I believe, tomorrow, and he'll probably have more insight on that. But what's really going to be interesting overall is look at the whole thing, the whole picture, everything I spoke about, everything that's going to come up, and this just is about everything in society, whatever it's going to be.
In general,
is what are these changes are going to stay, right?
I agree.
Right?
I think we're into the new normal. I think, everybody talked about technology. Within the next 3 to 5 years, everything is going to be technology. I think the future is now. I mean, we've been catapulted into it. So I think a lot of this is here to stay.
Yeah, Mother Nature has given us a little push in that direction.
Yes.
So whatever it may be, every industry that you can think of
is affected.
Right, and your basic legal rights is one of those things.
Absolutely. Well, I cannot thank you enough for being here. Corey, I'm going to take your information and I'm going to post it to Facebook. If anybody has any questions, how can they reach you? I will also, like I said, post it on Facebook, but can you just give us, the best way for somebody to get a hold of you?
Sure. My phone number is 201-598-5019. or 888-NJ-LAW-17, since my law firm is located on Route 17 in Paramus. Also, email me at just my name, Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, Morano, M-O-R-A-N-O, at email, and they can find me on Facebook as well.
Perfect. And like I said, I will also have your contact information on Facebook. Thank you so much. I learn so much every day. Like I said, everything is shifting every day, everything changes, and thank you for updating us for where we are today, and maybe I can have you back.
I would love that. Thank you so much, Kelly.
I would love it too. So you have a great night, and thank you again for kicking off Law Week.
Thank you very much. Look forward.
All right, talk to you soon, Corey. Take care. Bye-bye.